I love you. You are my life, my happiness, everything to me. Please forgive me for saying this, but I do not have the strength to stay quiet. I do not ask for love in return, just for kindness. Please meet me at the old garden at 8 o'clock this evening. I don't need to sign my name, but do not worry because I am keeping my name secret. I am young and good-looking. What more do you want? When Pavel Ivanitch Vyhotsev, a practical married man who was spending his holiday at a summer house, read this letter, he shrugged his shoulders and scratched his head, feeling confused. What kind of trick is this? He thought. I am a married man, and someone sends me this strange, silly letter. Who wrote it? Pavel Ivanitch looked at the letter again and again, reading it one more time, and then spat with disgust. I love you, he said, laughing. What a strange person she is. Does she want me to go and meet her in the garden? I stopped having these silly love stories many years ago. Young lady. HM. She must be some careless, bad woman. Well, women like her are all the same. What a crazy person she must be to write a letter like this to a stranger, and a married man too. It's really wrong. Pavel Ivanitch had been married for 8 years, and in that time, he had stopped feeling any romantic feelings. He never got letters from women, except letters to say congratulations, so even though he tried not to care, this letter made him very curious and nervous. An hour after he got the letter, he was lying on his sofa, thinking, of course I'm not a silly boy, and I'm not going to run to this silly meeting. But still, it would be interesting to know who wrote it. HM. It's definitely a woman's writing. The letter seems very real, so it's probably not a joke. Maybe it's a girl who is nervous, or maybe a widow. Widows are usually fun and a little strange. HM. Who could it be? It was harder for Pavel Ivanitch to know who it was because he didn't know any women at the summer houses, except for his wife. It's strange, he thought. I love you. When did she fall in love? What an amazing woman. To fall in love without even knowing me and without learning what kind of man I am. She must be very young and romantic to fall in love after just 2 or 3 looks at me. But who is she? Pavel Ivanitch suddenly remembered that when he had been walking around the summer houses the day before, and the day before that, he had seen a young woman with light hair, wearing a light blue hat and with a little turned-up nose. The pretty young woman kept looking at him, and when he sat down on a bench, she sat down next to him. Could it be her? Vyhotsev wondered. No, it can't be. Could such a delicate, beautiful person fall in love with an old, tired man like me? No, that's impossible. At dinner, Pavel Ivanitch looked blankly at his wife while he thought. She writes that she is young and good-looking, so she is not old. HM. To be honest, I am not so old and ugly that no one could fall in love with me. My wife loves me, and as we all know, love is blind. What are you thinking about? His wife asked him. Oh, my head hurts a little, Pavel Ivanitch said, but this was not true. He decided that it was silly to think too much about a silly love letter, so he laughed at it and at the woman who wrote it. But oh no, the power of the summer house is very strong. After dinner, Pavel Ivanitch lay down on his bed, and instead of sleeping, he thought, but maybe she is waiting for me to come. What a silly girl. I can just imagine how nervous she will be when she doesn't find me in the garden. I'm not going to go, though. Forget her. But I repeat, the power of the summer house is very strong. Maybe, just out of curiosity, he thought to himself half an hour later, I could go and look from far away to see what kind of woman she is. It would be interesting to see her. It would be fun and nothing more. After all, why not have a little fun since this chance has come up? Pavel Ivanitch got up from his bed and began to dress. Why are you dressing up so nicely? His wife asked, noticing that he was putting on a clean shirt and a fancy tie. Oh, nothing. I need to go for a walk. My head hurts. H.M. Pavel Ivanitch dressed in his best clothes and, waiting until 8 o'clock, left the house. When he saw all the summer visitors, dressed in their colorful clothes, walking in front of him, his heart started beating fast. Which one of them is it? He wondered, walking slowly. Come on. Why am I afraid? I'm not going to the meeting. What? A fool I am. Go forward bravely. And what if I go to the garden? Well, there's no reason I shouldn't. Pavel Ivanitch's heart beat even faster. Without meaning to, he imagined the garden in the evening with little light. A beautiful young girl with a light blue hat and a turned-up nose appeared in his mind. He imagined her being shy because of her love, shaking all over, coming up to him nervously, breathing quickly, and suddenly hugging him tightly. If I wasn't married, it would be fine, he thought, trying to push away bad ideas. But maybe just once it wouldn't hurt to have the experience. Otherwise, I might die without ever knowing what it feels like. And my wife, what does it matter to her? Thank God, for 8 years, I've never done anything wrong. 8 years of being a good husband. I've had enough. I'm almost ready to go just to annoy her. Shaking all over and holding his breath, Pavel Ivanitch walked to the arbor, a small garden house, covered with ivy and wild vines, and peeked inside. The air smelled damp and old. I think there's nobody here, he thought, stepping into the arbor. But then he saw a shape in the corner. The shape was a person. When Pavel Ivanitch looked closer, he saw that it was his wife's brother, Mitya, who was a student staying with them at the villa. Oh, it's you, Pavel Ivanitch said unhappily, taking off his hat and sitting down. Yes, it's me, answered Mitya. They sat in silence for 2 minutes. Excuse me, Pavel Ivanitch, Mitya said, but could you please leave me alone? I'm thinking about my dissertation for my degree, and having someone else here makes it hard for me to think. You should go somewhere else, like a quiet path, Pavel Ivanitch said calmly. It's easier to think outside, and also, well, I want to take a little nap here on this bench. It's cooler here. You want to sleep, but my dissertation is more important, Mitya grumbled. They were quiet again. Pavel Ivanitch, who kept imagining footsteps, suddenly jumped up and said in a sad voice, Come on, Mitya. You're younger, and you should think about me. I don't feel well, and I really need to sleep. Please go away. That's selfish, Mitya said. Why do you have to stay here and not me? I won't leave, just to prove a point. Come on, I'm asking you. Maybe I'm selfish, bossy, and silly, but I'm asking you to go. Just this once, do me a favor. Show some kindness. Mitya shook his head. What a jerk, thought Pavel Ivanitch. How can I meet her with him here? It's impossible. I'm telling you, Mitya, he said. I'm asking you one last time. Be reasonable, kind, and show you're a decent person. I don't understand why you keep insisting, Mitya said, shrugging his shoulders. I said I won't go, and I won't. I'm staying here to make a point. Just then, a woman's face with a turned-up nose peeked into the arbor. Seeing Mitya and Pavel Ivanitch, she frowned and quickly disappeared. She's gone, thought Pavel Ivanitch, feeling angry at Mitya. She saw him and ran away. Everything is ruined. After waiting a little longer, Pavel Ivanitch got up, put on his hat, and said, "You're selfish, mean, and a jerk." "Yes, a jerk. It's wrong and stupid. I'm done with you." "Glad to hear it," Mitya muttered, also standing up and putting on his hat. "Let me tell you, you've messed things up for me too. I'll never forgive you for what you did today." Pavel Ivanitch left the arbor, furious, and quickly walked back to his villa. Even seeing the table ready for dinner didn't calm him down. Once in a lifetime something like this happens, he thought angrily. And now it's ruined. She's upset and embarrassed. At dinner, Pavel Ivanitch and Mitya kept their eyes on their plates, sitting in angry silence. They were both very mad at each other. "What are you smiling at?" Pavel Ivanitch snapped at his wife. Only fools laugh for no reason. His wife looked at his angry face and burst out laughing. "What was that letter you got this morning?" she asked. "Me? I didn't get a letter," Pavel Ivanitch said, clearly embarrassed. "You're imagining things." "Oh, come on, just admit it." "Yes, you did. Guess what? I sent you that letter." "Really, I did." "Haha." Pavel Ivanitch's face turned red, and he looked down at his plate. "That was a silly joke," he grumbled. "What else could I do?"
Tell me.
"We had to clean the house this evening, and I needed to get you out. How else could I do it?" "Don't be mad, silly. I didn't want you to be bored in the arbor, so I sent the same letter to Mitya too." "Mitya, did you go to the arbor?" Mitya smiled and stopped glaring angrily at Pavel Ivanitch.